Welcome to Side Notes. We're out and about at the 93rd Annual Warriors Day Parade here in Toronto. I'm with a Vietnam veteran, Ken Medeiros.
That's correct, sir.
Thank you so much for your time, Ken.
You're very welcome.
What I'd like to ask you, the way the United States is right now, do you find that they're more welcoming to the veterans than when you came back from Vietnam?
Yes, I work with a lot of veterans, assisting them with benefits and things of that nature. And I do believe that the American people have finally woken up and realized that we went to Vietnam and we did what we had to do there as young men. A lot of the young men never came back. And I think the United States of America people are now realizing what we went through. And I think they're more appreciating and they're showing more interest in the Vietnam veterans.
The group that you were with, you just arrived in a bus, there was a whole bunch of you. What were the different foundations that were on the bus with you?
Well, we had veterans. I think most of us served in Vietnam, but there are others that probably served in the Korean War, the Iraq War, Afghanistan War, and of course we're Post 40, the American Legion, Eddie Ribeiro Post from Plymouth, Massachusetts. And this is our 33rd year coming up and getting together with the Canadian veterans. And we alternate. 1 year, the veterans here go down to Plymouth, Massachusetts, and then vice versa. The following year, we come to Canada here to march in their parade. But everybody on the bus, we come of our own opportunity and time, and it's a commitment that we do. We do other functions to help veterans and things of that nature.
The younger veterans that came back from Iraq and Afghanistan, do you find that the stories that they're sharing are similar to what you experienced in Vietnam and also other Vietnam veterans were sharing?
Yes. As young men that served in Vietnam, everything we went through, we find today that the Afghanistan and the Iraq veterans are coming home with the same situations, especially the PTSD issues, the combat issues that they have gone through. And now with many of the World War II veterans that are not living, a lot of the Korean veterans are getting older, and even now the Vietnam veterans are getting up in their years. And the Afghanistan and Iraq veterans that are returning have very similar conditions that we had way back 50, 60 years ago. And I do some assistance to the Vietnam veterans organizations and things of that nature to help them. And now we're receiving a lot of the young Iraq and Afghanistan veterans that have similar situations.
And you find there's more help available now than there was years ago?
I think there is more help being available, but I think that the United States, our country, can do much more. Recently they found that the Veterans Affairs back in the United States, that there was a lot more could have been done. There was a lot of injustice done, but I think that finally America is starting to come forward a little with assisting the veterans that do need help with medical things and other benefits that would help their family issues and things of that nature.
What are some of the things that you would love to see within the veteran community to basically, we're looking at a large suicide rate. I think it was 22 a day down in the United States, over 300,000 homeless veterans down in the United States.
Yes.
How do we correct all that stuff?
Well, I think there has to be more, I'll use the term education when veterans come back from combat. As a Vietnam vet, I was in combat, and then a week later I returned to the United States. There was no reintroduction to the community, to the public affairs that were going on, and just basic living rather than in a combat situation. In other words, there has to be a period in between with a veteran that comes from combat situations, has to be, call it retuned to civilian life, not just send us out of combat home and expect us to forget everything. The term PTSD, I think a lot of veterans have it. They may even be unaware of it, or they don't want to accept the fact that they have it. We're still running into Vietnam veterans today, 45, 50 years later, who have PTSD issues, alcohol issues, and like you mentioned, suicide issues. And I think that the United States and the Veterans Affairs officers have to understand what we go through and come back and assist us to go back into the regular mainstream of life.
Thank you so much for your time there, Ken.
You're very welcome, sir. Pleasure to meet you.